Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's been a very busy few weeks for me here in Palm Springs, doing a lot of fun stuff with the Palm Springs Film Festival. However, that does not excuse not making new videos for you guys. So I'm back. Please accept my apology because today we have a lot to talk about because, again, too busy to make these videos one by one, but we have a lot of new updates when it comes to award season. We are literally like in the thick of it, just out of nowhere. It's always crazy how that happens at the beginning of the year. But I am coming to you after we have learned who the Golden Globe winners are. We have the SAG award nominees, we have the shortlists for the BAFTAs, and we are still about a week or two away from finding out who the Oscar nominees are. So, phew, take a deep breath. We got a lot to talk about. When it comes to the Golden Globe winners, I don't think that there were necessarily too many surprises. If anything, I feel like it really helped me figure out the direction that the rest of this award season could go, and I want to give myself a pat on the back. I feel like the winners are pretty much ones that I've kind of locked in for a while now. When it comes to the acting winners, we had Timothy Chalamet win for comedy musical, Wagner Moura for drama, Jessie Buckley for drama, Rose Byrne for comedy musical, and then for the supporting roles, we've got Teyana Taylor and Stellan Skarsgård. And those two I have had locked in since the beginning. I have had the other four in my predictions for a while now. I kept wondering, waiting to see will Wagner Moura be able to make it in, but I'm so happy that he did, and he gave a really great speech last night. But I think ultimately, at least in my world, I would love to see a Jesse, Timothy, Tayana, and Stellan ticket when it comes to the four people holding their Oscars at the end of this year. I feel like all of those give such powerhouse performances, so deserved. They're all coming from different films, films that have kind of defined 2025 in a way and given us something to talk about and something to cheer and just love. So I would be extremely happy with that. I think Rose Byrne and Wagner Moura are for sure making it into the top five. Their wins really solidified that, and I've had them in there for a while. And now I guess we just kind of wait and see, figure out what happens next. On the actress side, as usual, it is always so hard to figure out who is going to make it in, who's going to make it out. I don't know who to kick out. I mean, my top five currently looks like Jessie Buckley, Rose Byrne, Renata Rensve, Chase Infinity, and Emma Stone. I don't know. They love Emma Stone. She is an Oscar darling at this point, so I feel like she's making it in. But then I also have to consider Kate Hudson, who has been in the conversation. But would that be weird to have her as just the lone nominee? But then again, that's not weird because people have done that in the past. I don't know. Andrea Riseborough, for example, lone nominee, totally made it in. Crazy. I don't know what to do with that category. For the male actors, I think I have a pretty good lineup slash good grasp on it. I've got Timothy, I've got Leo, I've got Wagner, I've got Ethan, and I have Michael B. Jordan. I know some people are wondering, since Sinners did not win the best drama film, that instead went to Hamnet, does that put him in a very awkward position of, does he not make the top five? I mean, maybe. I just don't necessarily know who I would put in the five as a replacement. I mean, there's Joel Edgerton. I don't know how many people would be like truly on the we absolutely love Train Dreams train. I love that movie. I think it's a beautiful film. I'd love to see him recognized, but I don't know if that film has quite as much passion as Sinners does. But then again, does Sinners not have quite as much passion since it didn't win last night? Who knows? If there is somebody else who could make it into the best actor lineup, it could possibly be Jesse Plemons. I mean, he has been showing up in a lot of these long lists and in these nominations, and I didn't fully consider Begonia as like a legitimate contender, but it's kind of proving me wrong. So I could see a world where he makes it in. And I mean, he gives a really incredible performance in that film. So it's not even like oh, that's a weird nomination. No, it's a really, really good nomination. And I would be really happy for him. But again, it's just like, does Michael make it in? Does he not? Does Jesse end up being in that spot? Which I would hate because they're such good buddies. And I don't want to see them competing against each other. Supporting actress, I'm also like on the fence on, especially because with the SAG nominations and the BAFTA shortlist, Odessa Azion has been making quite a breakthrough and making quite a lot of strides in that space, which I don't know if I ever really fully considered her as like a legitimate candidate prior to this. Namely, there is also Gwyneth Paltrow in that film, and she is wonderful, and people love Gwen, and it's so great to see her back on screen. I kind of kept thinking, will it default to her if it has to default to somebody from Marty Supreme? And now I don't know what to think. I also don't know about my sentimental value girls. Are they both going to make it in, or is one of them going to have to make it out? At this point, I think I still have both of them in my supporting actress predictions. I've made space for Amy Madigan, definitely made space for Tayana. She is at my top and has been at my top since September at this point. I'm also not really sure about Ariana Grande. Yes, she has been making it into each of these awards bodies and these shortlists, and she's on SAG nominations and she's on the BAFTA shortlist. I just don't know. Will that translate also into an Oscar nomination? It would feel weird at this point for it not to, but I don't know. I don't know. And then for supporting actor, I think I more or less have a pretty good lineup. I have Stellan, I have Benicio, I have Sean, I have Paul, and I have Jacob Elordi. I think Jay Kelly slash Adam Sandler, I don't think that's gonna happen this time around. Again, he did not make SAG. Even with Stellan out, he didn't make SAG, which says a lot. So I'm just not really banking on that one. Biggest surprise of the night when it comes to Golden Globes, as I have already mentioned, was Sinners did not win the drama category. That went to Hamnet. I was not predicting that, mainly because Sinners is such a force. But, you know, in hindsight now, it makes sense. We got one battle dominating throughout the night and winning the big award for the comedy musical Best Picture. We have Sinners winning the Cinematic and Box Office Achievement Award, which, sure, okay. And then Hamnet, too. I guess they had to spread the wealth and love a little bit, and that one took home the drama prize, which I was happy about. I mean, that one made sense as if it's not going to be Sinners, it'll be Hamnet. People love that film. I certainly really loved that film. Jessie Buckley giving just a huge all-timer performance in that movie. And then same thing with Chloe Zhao. She gave a very beautiful speech. She was certainly shocked and shook that they won, and she really gave Ryan Coogler their flowers and, you know, talked about their connection after all of these years. I just thought it was all so beautiful, and at the end of the day, a wonderful celebration of films and cinema, and I can get behind that. I'm not mad. Speaking a little bit about the SAG nominations, they were very interesting. Number one takeaway is that apparently nobody loves international films when it comes to this branch, which is telling, very, very telling. None of the sentimental value people got it in. Wagner Moura did not get in for Secret Agent, nothing for It Was Just an Accident. It was truly a okie dokie kind of moment. Same thing with No Other Choice, nothing for that film. Don't really know what to think of all of that, but it certainly didn't really help in narrowing down who is making it in. How do you make room for some of these people? But like I said, I feel confident in the sentimental value folks being recognized, whether it's all four of them, maybe only three, maybe only two. We're gonna see. Keeping my fingers crossed that it's all four of them, but like I said, I don't know if, for example, Elle Fanning makes it into the final Oscar lineup. I feel like there's been a lot of talk and passion with Inga and her wonderful performance, and there certainly has been with Elle Fanning too. I just I just don't know. Can both of them make it in? They do love doing double nominees from a film in a single category. So, on the one hand, there is definitely plenty of precedent when it comes to that. On the other, are there just so many other people to consider? For example, Odessa Azion, Wunmi Musaku. I mean, two people that I was certainly considering in my top 10. I just wasn't really sure would they make it into the final five, but I have a lot to think about now. When it comes to some of these BAFTA shortlists, long lists, however you want to call it, if there's one thing that I did gain from this, it's that I don't think Amanda Seyfried is happening. She does give a really wonderful, full bodied performance, so passionate for this film, but she did not even show up in the BAFTA long list. I mean, that says a lot. She did not show up in the SAG nominations. That says a lot. I just don't think people are really passionate about this film. I don't think that they're really even seeing it. It's a tough sell, as I have said in my review on here, as I have felt the last two times I watched it. It's a lot to take in, and it's not going to be a film for everybody. It's one that I admire. There's a lot to admire and appreciate with this film. I just don't think it's the Oscar contender. It was this had Oscar buzz, Oscar contender. And my goodness, we had one more thing to consider in all of this. The Directors Guild Award nominations came out. Why is this like the busiest week of all time? But making it into that 5 slots, we've got Paul Thomas Anderson, Ryan Coogler, Chloe Zhao, Josh Safdie, and Guillermo del Toro. That's an interesting hodgepodge mix of people. I would say that I don't really know what direction the final 5 directors will go. I do know that Paul Thomas Anderson is very safe. I think that he is winning this award. There's been a lot of discussion about Ryan Coogler missing, and I don't know, for me right now, I still find that so wild and strange for him to miss, just because, again, huge powerhouse of a film. I guess it's happened in the past, one of which that comes to mind is Greta Gerwig for Barbie. That one got shot out of that category. And in many ways, could that kind of play here too? Could Ryan and Michael B. Jordan lose out on nominations, just like how Greta and Margot lost out on nominations when it came to director and actress? I don't know. Maybe, possibly. I find that so hard to think about and conceive, just because it seems like there is a lot of passion for that film. There's been some discussion about Chloe Zhao missing out on that. I wonder if the win last night at the Golden Globes kind of helped solidify that she would stay in that spot. At the moment, I have those 3 locked in for my predictions. I don't see Josh Safdie getting in. I just think that there is so much competition and so many people to consider that I kind of have him a little bit lower on my 10 overall ranking. Guillermo del Toro, there's a possibility that he could make it in. I mean, he has won this award before. He is beloved. He just loves movies, and who doesn't love a guy who loves movies? So he could certainly make it in. I'm still holding out hope for Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value and Jafar Panahi for It Was Just an Accident. Although I do wish that Jafar had an opportunity to go up on stage and deliver a speech last night, just because there's certainly a lot of relevance and connections to current events that I think would have really spoken very loudly to that conversation, to him always standing his ground, being independent, making these movies. I just think a lot of those things would have been very powerful, and I mean, I hate to say it, but yeah, kind of sold the idea that he should be in that lineup. It's really grimy and gross to have to talk about those things, and I don't like that I have to talk about that, but I think that's just a very legitimate thing that's going on in these voters' heads. But could one or both of them be in trouble? Yeah, probably. I know that there are sometimes surprises in these branches. Somebody that you think is a lock doesn't end up making it, a la a Ryan, a Chloe, a Joachim, a Jafar, whoever it might be. Either way, I will give you my final predictions when I think I'm somewhat ready for them. And then ultimately, when it comes to Best Picture, I mean, I don't think I need to worry too much. I think it's one battle after another, as it has been for several months now. I guess Hamnet possibly might be a number two slot, if not Sinners a number two slot. But either way, I think those three are for sure safe. I think Marty Supreme is making it in, Frankenstein. I have made changes though to the last three. I've made space for The Secret Agent just because I think that it is certainly surging, and with Wagner's win, with The Secret Agent's win in the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice, there seems to be a lot of passion, and I think that they have been able to do a lot with that. I have put Begonia in my top 10. I didn't really think that it would, but I mean, people love Emma Stone, they love Jesse Plemons, they love Yorgos Lanthimos. Who am I to say that it shouldn't make it into the top 10? And then I have Train Dreams in currently. I don't know if I feel very confident in that one. I don't know. I'm just not really sure what to do because it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of passion for Wicked for Good, aside from in a lot of the technical craft categories. Doesn't seem like there's much talk or passion for Avatar, Fire and Ash, aside from its inevitable Best Visual Effects Oscar that it'll win. So I don't know. I'm just trying to consider some other alternatives, but maybe one of them does end up making it in. Who knows? But anyway, that was a very long-winded conversation with you all. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to consider, and we will see what happens over these next few weeks. So let's just keep updating those predictions, seeing what time will tell us, and I will give you my final predictions before the nominations are announced. Thank you guys so much for watching, telling me what you guys think of the race and where your head is at, and I will talk to you next time.